great to have the opportunity to share. It has been 2 years now since I went for Leave for Change, and I won't go over some of the details that you got from everyone else so far. Hopefully I can add just a little bit more, but it is an adventure of a lifetime. And I'm just going to give you a few quotes here. A person who doesn't know that they don't know. Right? And so until you go, you don't know that you don't know. And going, then you know more. Right? Basic. And each in our own practice could be the consultant. So don't think that you don't know anything, because you do have your own job, your skills, your talents. And so away we go, we identify what we can give, and we have an adventure. So share your talents and skills. Terrific opportunity to do that. Leave for Change, you saw the website there. Go on it, cruise around, take a look. Isabel mentioned the 12 countries, and there they are up there. And so you can look on the mandates. They have job postings divided by country and divided by a science, education, web consultancy. So you go on and see where your skills can fit, picking your country and picking the possible job. So when I went, these were the 8 people that went from the University of Guelph. So University of Guelph, our coordinator is Louise, down in the corner there. And actually Louise has decided to be a participant this year, so she's actually going. And you get to know that group very well before you go. And so that's fun, because you get to know staff and faculty a little bit better, and the different countries everybody went to. So I went to Ghana. Curriculum Development Advisor, so you pick the job off the roster of what you could choose. And they talked about mandate a little bit there, and I'll just talk about it. When you go, when I got there, my mandate could have taken me 8 months, not 3 weeks. And there's the possibility they're expecting a lot, but you want to give a lot, you want to leave a lot. So you gather up digital documents and take your memory sticks full of things and anything that you could possibly think ahead of time. You've got your mandate given to you about 3 weeks before you go. So then you dive into the research. And then when you get there, you can renegotiate that mandate down to, okay, this is what I'm going to do. I know what my skills are and what they need. Maybe out of the list of 10 things that they've got there, you can actually, say, I'm going to do these top 3 and make sure you've got this done before I go. So you do the learning journey. Right? You start out with the research. For me, Africa, Ghana, the UN Millennium Development Goals, curriculum development, literacy in Canada. Just keep adding that info in your brain, and you keep stirring until you get there, right? And you see, hopefully, that you've got everything you need. So you know how we do mind maps in education, right? So off goes a mind map. University of Guelph, Ghana, international development, curriculum development, all those things that are your branches. And I just did a mind map myself, so I knew which things were connected. So you're just kind of going. So questions? Just take a minute, just think for a second. What do you know about Africa? Okay, and if you know a country in Africa, what you know about that particular country, just think, give you a pause here. Okay, so you're going to learn about the country. This is my question to myself. What do I know about Africa? Okay, what have been your experiences when consulting or traveling? Okay, and then what does capacity building mean? We heard Isabel say that word. And when I went for my Leave for Change interview, it was, well, please define capacity building for me. So there's a clue. If you're going for the interview, have a definition for capacity building. Okay. So I'm just going to have everybody stand up for just a few minutes. Just stand up. All right. Now let's consider Ontario and London your home base. So who has traveled outside of Ontario keeps standing. If you've traveled outside, you keep standing. If you've traveled within Canada, keep standing. If you've traveled to a developed country at some point in your life, keep standing. If you've traveled to a developing country in your life sometime, keep standing. Okay, so you guys can show the globalization of the world, right here. Everyone has at some point been outside of Canada in a developed or developing country, which is amazing. was you think back 50 years, you would have one maybe person standing. So great, down we go. Okay, that's great. So do reflect on those experiences, and Lead for Change provides that extra experience to do that again. Okay, for Africa, lots of information, but highest poverty rates, highest unemployment rates, highest illiteracy rates, highest infant mortality rates, highest HIV prevalence rates, malaria, tuberculosis incidents are found in Africa. Gender inequality in social, political, and economic spheres persist. Conflict and political instability characterize many parts of the region. Corruption is rampant at all levels of government. Okay, there's Africa and the countries, and except for maybe Botswana, you're probably going to find that in most of the countries in Africa. So here you are, you know, getting ready to go, and you're trying to formulate in your head what that means as a Canadian, right? And that was a big thing for me. The other thing, I have an interest educating girls and women. And so lots of information on that as well. Gathering up, doing lots of readings before I go, and I won't go through that. But checking your assumptions. There's dichotomies, all the time a dichotomy. We have Westerners versus Africans. We have North countries versus South countries, cold climates versus warm climates, so hot climates. These are the opposing dichotomies we're living with. Developed versus developing countries, core country versus peripheral country, us versus them, a re-examining of that. White versus black, one language, well, two languages in Canada, official languages, but many languages. In Ghana, there's over 15 languages they regularly use, but if you include the dialects, you're up to 47 to 50 languages in one tiny country. So another thing to get your head around. Literate, illiterate. We can expect our literacy level in Canada is considered 99%, right? So you're going into a country where literacy levels would be, usually that fluctuates, sometimes say 50 to 70% literacy rate in Ghana. Elitist versus marginalized, she versus he. So I just leave you with a statement from Aaron Graham from some of the adult education literature. Sometimes we are us and they are them, but sometimes they are them and so are we. Sometimes too they are us and we are us too, but sometimes they are all us and I am only them. So just a thought there. But really, what we want to do is not be versus, right? We want to be ands, right? It's not either or, it's all together. And that's globalization. Okay, this was my contact at WUSC, at the WUSC office, Uniterra in Ghana. So as soon as I went, the first meeting is with your connection there. And I won't run the video. My video YouTube channel is Ontario Pesticide Education, and I've thrown up 2 videos. If you just search for that on YouTube, and you'll find Abina there. It's just a 2-minute clip, but very interesting, and if we had time I would go back. This is the core group of 5 people that I worked with when I was there for my 3 weeks. So, you know, you come into a work situation, you have to acclimatize quickly. You want to get your mandate done. You want to be useful. Your intent is to be very useful, right? Always remember, if your intent to be useful is there, you will accomplish something no matter what goes wrong, right? And so working with Angela and Chris, myself, Ruth, and Elizabeth at the end there. So Ruth is sitting down next to me there. Wow, when I showed up, I walked into her office. I was going to share the office with her. She had a desk there for me and a kettle that was nice for tea. And you can see the kettle in the front there. But I found out kind of inadvertently that the schedule, the timing, Ruth was actually scheduled to be on vacation. And so when she found out I was coming, she had to cancel her vacation. So there was this little, you know, little resentment, little chip on her shoulder, right? When you get, but you never know some of these underlying things, right? You have to be able to assimilate yourself very quickly to their work situation and see what you can do to help. Accra is a city of 2 million. I didn't get outside the city too much. The WUSC office was at the edge of the city. The hotel was close to the WUSC office. But the location where I was and the Ghana Literacy House was down there, so it was quite a drive every morning. It took almost an hour's drive to get across town, which was quite interesting too. But you just kind of go with what you get situated at. So there's the office I went into. The president of Ghana died while I was there. So that was very interesting because they really, really mourn when they mourn. And so the black and red symbol here was everywhere. Everyone wears red, everyone wears black. These are all the people I got to meet. You meet them quickly, you identify what they do, what they can do to help you with your mandate. Ruth was my main contact, as I said, and she set me up to talk to every individual there and gather the information that I needed. Just great friends and help. Samuel was my transportation. So, you know, when you're there, you feel like you're putting yourself to people. They have to help you, right? Because you're there in the other country. So, you know, you feel bad sometimes because, you know, somebody's driving you there, somebody's trying to connect you there, and you need to get this done, and who do I talk to? But Samuel was my driver. He needs his government job so that he can farm. Sounds very Canadian, doesn't it? His father lived just until he was 105 is what he told me, but I'm not sure that's true, but I'm sure he wouldn't have had a birth certificate, and his mother 87. So better rain, lack of rain, they're trying different varieties there, and he does grow about 8 acres of tomatoes and peppers on a little farm. Anyway, and then just transportation, we're following this truck down the road. I just took that out the front window. I mean, you just wouldn't do things in Canada the same way they do things there. That would be illegal here, but so there they are, off to work. Anyway, and so the literacy side of it, I didn't get out of that office. That office is huge, very organized, great literacy program. What they're lacking is monies. The government wouldn't yet commit to additional funding. I don't really have time to talk too much about my mandate, but it's teaching women and adults, mostly women, to read and write, first in their native language, and then they're going to be adding English in more and more. Everyone has cell phones, but if you don't know English, it's hard to do your own text, right? So if you're handing your phone to someone to text for you, you lose your privacy, right? So that's going to be one of the incentives, the cell phone, mobile technology alone, to get people over to the English language. The hotel accommodation is wonderful. That was my little spot in the hotel over there. This is the street out front. That was the lobby. The security guard, friendly guard dogs, don't throw stones. And Nicholas, he was at the hotel. He helped run the hotel with his mother, and then a wake-up call every day from the chicken walking around outside. So lots of fun, eh? So you have lots of fun for a whole bunch of reasons. Words of wisdom for Ghana. In Ghana, you get punished when you obey the rules, it seems, right? When you do things right, you lose. You have to think for yourself and others, and some people think they have a monopoly on stupid. So I learned that all about the first day over at the WISC office. Anyway, and here's a little joke, was up at one of the offices there. A Nigerian policeman, they have sort of we have the US-Canadian relationship back and forth, and they have a Nigerian-Ghana relationship. So a Nigerian policeman arrested a man urinating at a place clearly marked, do not urinate here, fine is 500 Nigerian dollars. And the offender gives the policeman a Nigerian 1,000 note. The policeman turned around and said, urinate again, I don't have change. So, and again, what would a Ghanaian policeman would have done? May God bless us all and have a lovely day. So my reflections, visiting another country, I realize my own deficits. It's very humbling, right? Because you go in, you're the Westerner, so do you have the answer? Well, you don't have the answer. How can you have the answer in 3 weeks? So it is very humbling, but you have to speak up and say, I really don't know, because they look to you sometimes to have that answer. Drop the ego, you know, let people know that you don't know. At times I'm the burden, right? Another staff person to direct. Quickly trust and respect your new colleagues and realize what's off the record. You know how you work in an office situation, things you start to learn that maybe you shouldn't know. and then pass along to the wrong person and get in trouble. I realize that things that I want to happen might just not happen, and persuade for the ones that are critical and accept the ones that don't. So we have to be very flexible. I aim to provide resources, contribute to the best of your talents, resist the tendency to Canadianize. You know, what would Canada do? But you're not in Canada. You want to know what the Ghanaians need to do, right? So get out of your Canadian mindset and get right into the country mindset. And don't position myself having that Western cultural authority, right? You know, try to blend, just have fun. I don't know if anyone's read Parker Palmer is one of my adult education things that I read, and his latest book was Healing the Heart of Democracy, The Courage to Create a Politics Worthy of Human Spirit. Good one to read. You do realize, though, when you do travel and you come home, it's good to be on that Canadian soil, but I'm really an accidental citizen. Okay, I'm very privileged. I'm white, I'm female, Canadian, well-off, unquestioned, unchallenged gift of citizenship that I get from being a Canadian. I have a natural common good and civic community in my home community. I have political institutions that I can pretty well rely on. In most situations, live under a democracy that I'm proud of. And the power of the human heart seems always to be here. Capacity for truth, justice, love, and forgiveness. So a great idea of reflection, especially when going into other countries. The year before, I'll just mention out of the Leave for Change, it was another work consultancy I did in Sierra Leone. So another African country. Sierra Leone is 187 on the Human Development Index compared to Ghana, which is 136, and Canada's up there at position number 6. So I went from, you know, a country with lots of things to Sierra Leone, which had not as much, and it really really makes you think about yourself. Ghanaisms, that is it. You come up with an idea and they go, oh, that's it, you know, and they go, oh, well, maybe not, that was just an idea, let's not jump too far. Good, This is when you really, you know, they're thinking about what you said, whether that was good or not. Have a blessed day, and always the way forward. Now, what's our way forward? Very positive forward thinking, just more so than even Canadians would have. Leave for Change, these are my experts. I read before I went, The Challenge for Africa, Unbowed, great person, Nobel Peace Prize in 2004. She was the first woman with a PhD in Eastern Africa. When she came over with the JFK airlift, in the 1960s, early 60s there. Stephen Brookfield, I read a lot for my adult education, great on the consultancy and giving some background there. The Skillful Teacher, teaching and critical thinking. Jeffrey Sachs, everyone wonders, you know, Jeffrey Sachs is going to solve the poverty worldwide. Excellent books to read. His last one there, The End of Poverty, in there. Nita Monk wrote a book reviewing the efforts of Jeffrey Sachs, another good one to read. Another good one to read for gender equity, Half the Sky, Turning Oppression into Opportunity for Women Worldwide, copyright 2009. Recommend getting your head into that one as well. And Samantha Nutt is good to read, Damnations. And Steven Pinker, just from the literacy side of things, did some reading there. And Vandana Shiva, a good idea from the sustainability side of things. Evan Fraser, he's a prof at Guelph, Empires for Food. So it just opens up your eyes, and then of course you can find a lot on your TED Talks now too. Derek Severs is really good there. Weird or Just Different. Short clip, 2 minutes. He puts the cultural differences in a great manner. Anyway, that's it. I've probably talked way too much. I didn't even tell you about my mandate or some whole bunch of other things, but really, you know, gives you a better worldview. Probably talked way too much. Good. Okay. Yeah.
Thank you very much. Now we have time for